Hey there, it's BoardGameDave. Today we're taking a look at my top 10 new to me games of 2022. Last year, I logged 607 plays of 162 different games, over half of which I played for the first time in 2022. I listed all 86 of those games in alphabetical order in the description down below, but today we're just going to focus on my top 10 new to me games from 2022. Before we jump in though, one really quick honorable mention: Splendor Duel is a game that has been absolutely thrilling me since I got it back in mid-November. This is a game that I love playing with Hannah. It's a game I really enjoy showing to people who have played the original Splendor, and I like watching their eyes kind of light up as they start to absorb all the cool new mechanisms that are inside this game that make Splendor a really incredible next level experience in this two-player box. So Splendor Duel didn't make my list, which definitely skews heavy Euro games, so it didn't make it, but this is definitely a game you should check out. I did a review of this game recently. I'll have a link to that at the end of the video. All right, let's get to it. My number 10 new to me game of 2022 was Marco Polo 2 in the Service of the Khan. This is a game that I absolutely fell head over heels in love with from the first time I kind of heard about it, and I just enjoyed watching playthroughs and reading through the rule book and watching all these reviews. It's a dice placement game where you're going to be using your dice to move around the map here in the Far East and establishing trading posts, which will unlock new actions you can take and abilities and bonuses and income, and everybody has their own unique player, which has really strong, powerful benefits. It's absolutely extraordinary, and I love dice placement games in general, and the map is so interesting. The paths that you take and the cost to travel along those paths is interesting. You got camels and jade and coins that you'll use to travel around the map, and you're also collecting gold and pepper and silks and all these other resources. It's incredible. You're going to get these guild tokens that give you more resources and give you shortcuts on the map. It's just amazing. It feels like a big sprawling experience, but honestly, it's only 5 rounds and it can go pretty quickly. So I played it multiplayer, I played it solo with a variant I found on BGG. I love this game. I need to get it to the table more often because it is extraordinary. Number 9 was Star Wars Outer Rim. This is a game I only played one time, but I really was surprised by how much I really enjoyed this game. So of course, you've got the Star Wars theme in the game. You are bounty hunters, mercenaries, and smugglers, and you're traveling around this Outer Rim. So it's got pick up and deliver elements. You're going to pick up goods and passengers and do some combat with NPCs and other players, and you're going to just travel from space to space, completing quests and upgrading your ship and getting new items and weapons. And I just found this game so interesting and thematic and fun. There's dice rolling when you do combat, or there's like tests you can do as you try to accomplish these quests. And somehow, by the skin of my teeth, I won this game, which is a race to maybe like 10 points or something like that. But yeah, I just was really, again, surprised with how much I liked it. But I kind of, from the reviews I had read, thought this might be a game that would be up my alley. I really enjoyed the whole upgrading your ship. You start as this like low-life scumbag with a janky ship and no coins or credits, and then you just evolve into this like powerhouse flying around in the Millennium Falcon. It's really great. Awesome game. I am looking forward to trying it again because I thought it was a blast. Number 8 was a fairly new game called Brazil Imperial. This is a game that my friend Connor got and was really excited to get to the table. He kept going on about how this was basically like the Scythe killer for him. He's actually selling his copy of Scythe now because he liked this so much. Now, I still think I prefer Scythe, but I see the similarities, and it does a lot of things really well. It's a 4X game where you're building up your colonial empire and you're sending out troops along the map to explore things and gather resources. You're building logging camps and trading mills and stuff like that. You've got these really prestigious buildings that you'll build. And you have a special ability of a player that gives you all kinds of special abilities there. And you collect resources, of course. And it's fantastic. Throughout the course of the game, you're also trying to complete objectives. As you do, you'll kind of move the game into the second and then the third age. And then you'll end the game whoever completes their third era objective card. So along the way, you're also going to be doing some action selection, which is very similar to Scythe. You have a little token that you put on one of 5 action spaces, and you choose a new action every time. So a lot of similarities, but it does things very differently as well. I was very impressed with this game. One thing you don't do in Scythe, I don't think, no you don't, is you collect these cards which are interesting, and they're usually kind of like buildings or people that you kind of accrue to your faction, basically, and they'll help you get more resources or do special abilities. So Brazil Imperial, I've only played it once, so I couldn't go on too much about it, but I do really enjoy this game, and it's number 8. Number 7 was a game called Anno 1800 by Martin Wallace, so I already knew I was gonna like this game, and I did. This is a very strictly economic game, basically, in which you are pretty much just trying to get resources and develop your infrastructure to make better resources more efficiently, and that's pretty much all there is to it. So you start the game with a little plot of land and some really lackluster resources. You're making sausages and, oh gosh, what do you make in this game? Bricks and wooden planks, potatoes, not super exciting, but along the way, you're gonna upgrade those industries into making steel or manufactured goods or paper towels or chocolate or beer or all kinds of stuff, right? Food and clothing and base materials and clocks and machines and tractors and bicycles and light bulbs and all that stuff. It's really, really interesting. You're going to be doing, oh gosh, it's been many, many months since I played it. I think 7 months since I last played it. So again, it might be a little rusty here, but you've got these cards that you're gonna play. They have combat values. They have trading values, which lets you kind of increase your shipyard, your trading, I suppose, abilities. And then along the way, you're also getting new cards. And the primary movement of the game is getting these cards and trying to complete their abilities, kind of like contracts. As you do, you're going to get new workers. Each worker is a different color cube that you'll use. There's like the really basic ones, green and blue, and then the more prestigious reds and purples and teals. And each of them do different things, and that's basically the gist. So not a very good overview, but that's Anno 1800. Look into it. It's so much better than I'm sure how I just explained it. Number 6 was Merchants of the Dark Road. Another game I only played once, but it left a really great impression on me. I'm dying to play this game again. It was really, really great. Let's take a look at this board first. So it's very dark and ominous and medieval looking, which I really enjoy. And essentially, this game is a rondel game where you're going to take your caravan and stop at these various locations to get things from the dark market or recruit some travelers from the Ringway Inn or trade at the bazaar or get commissions at the Queen's Commissions area, which are contracts you can basically complete. But the really cool part is going to Jurg's excursions, and you can take like the safe, well-traveled path, the light path, or the dark path, which is a little bit more risky, but you can get better rewards, and you roll some dice. And the cool part about that is other people can tag along to your excursion, and they can get some benefits as well, but they also take on some of the risks. So I love that part of it. There's also a dice element here. As you roll your dice, you're going to stick them at the top of this funnel, I think, and they're going to kind of make their way down through this funnel, which narrows your selection of actions you can take. You can get allies. I think that's what they're called, or that's not the right word. They're called companions, and you've got some right here. You got the bumblebee and the phoenix and the mouse, and yeah, essentially you are just doing some trading. So you get your resources, you load them up in your caravan, a little bit of tile placement there, and you complete contracts and stuff. It's really great. It's definitely up my alley. It's economic. There's 2 different scoring things that you'll be moving up, and whichever's lower at the end of the game is your score, basically. It's great. It's clever. It's awesome. It's intuitive. I really like that game. Number 5 was a game called Carnegie, which I played one time exactly 7 months ago to the day. So might be a little rusty again on the rules, holy smokes, but Carnegie was a really, really cool game. It is a action selection. Well, let me show you the action board because this is really interesting. Each player gets their own little action board, and throughout the course of the game, you're going to get these, they're like buildings, or they're like rooms in an office building, basically, and you're going to put them in your little 4x4 grid, and then you're going to use your workers to activate those spots. But there's a really interesting spatial element because workers can only move, I think orthogonally, a certain number of spaces, so you have to kind of think about how you want to get the synergy going in your building. But anyways, there's that going on, but there's also this whole board up here where one person chooses which action they're going to activate, and then everybody gets to do that thing, but then you slide across this board on the bottom, and that means something too, and then you've got this map. of America. So you're doing kind of like a route building thing, and then people get bonuses. I think there's like an area majority thing or longest route. I don't remember how that goes exactly. Then you're doing charitable things up there. As you put your marker on, it looks like you're donating to charity thematically. That's what it is, but it's end game scoring. So you're racing to nab those end game scoring criteria. And then I also was intrigued by this whole thing where, I don't know what the theme is, but you're taking this gear thing from the side of your board. It's a dual layer or triple layer board, whatever. And as you upgrade or get better at these things like infrastructure or factories or income or whatever, you're pulling this thing out to reveal better and better, you know, actions, abilities that you put your discs on. And it's just so many things going on, but I didn't remember it feeling overwhelming or disjointed. Everything kind of fit nicely together, and I really enjoyed it. The more I think about it, the more I was like, yeah, you know what? I could definitely go for another play of this game. So it's Carnegie. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. Is it Anno tool? Yes is the artist. So I really enjoyed Carnegie. Definitely a game you should check out. Number 4 was Tzolk'in, the Mayan calendar. This is a game my friend taught to me, and then I played it shortly after on Board Game Arena and got absolutely demolished, and rightly so. I didn't know really what I was doing, but I really loved this game. Again by Luciani and Tassini. It is absolutely brilliant, and it all pivots around these wheels, pun not intended. So if you take a look here, you've got this main action board, and it's a worker placement game where you take your little tokens and put them on the beginning space of the wheel, but then each round that middle wheel rotates one space, which means all the outer gears rotate. And the longer you can keep your workers on that wheel, the better the rewards get. Like, instead of 3 corner, this is a bad picture. Instead of 3 corner, you can get 4 corner, 5 corner, wood, or over here you can get 4 points, 5 points, 6 points, move up the idle tracks. Over here you can get the crystal skull if you wait long enough, but the catch is you only start with 3 workers, and on your turn you have to either place or pull. So as much as you want to let those workers ride it out to get to the very end of each wheel, eventually you have to start pulling some workers back. And the whole infrastructure, the economy of this game is powered by corn. It's corn, a big lump with knobs. And of course, you have to pay corn to feed your workers at 4 points throughout the game, but also putting your workers out almost always requires paying some corn. So there's that going on. There's the idle tracks that you go up, and they score at various points throughout the game. And then there's also this track right here, kind of like the technology track in Teotihuacan, where you get an additional ability like more corn, extra wood, extra stone, and then there's these buildings down here that you can build that give you endgame scoring or permanent abilities. It's just extraordinary. It gives me all the same feelings of Teotihuacan, but in a easier to teach, shorter package. It's not a terribly long game. And I was just thrilled. I still am thinking about this game and how good it was. I would love to get this played more often, so maybe I'll talk to my friend about another Tzolk'in day, and then maybe also Teotihuacan. I love those tea games. I still need to play Tabanusi and Tawantinsuyu, I believe, but I love those tea games. Number 3 was a game called Rococo Deluxe Edition. I have been thoroughly and absolutely charmed by this beautiful game. Artwork again by Ian O'Toole, and it's just gorgeous. So this game is not terribly complex. I find it's pretty easy to teach. It's pretty intuitive, but forget the gameplay, forget the mechanisms. Let's just look at this art and admire the beauty of this game. There he is, King Louis the 5th or 7th or something, and these wonderful people who are attending the ball. You're going to be, there's people in the kitchen and helpers assisting you there. There's employees in your service. There's fireworks that you're going to be sponsoring. There's these wonderful blueprints. I love this for the petticoats and dresses, and then when you flip them over, you see the completed side, and it's just so gorgeous. Of course, this was the deluxe edition, which came with these 3D thimbles and spools of thread and these poofs that I love so much. And then, of course, my friend Gary did not have the metal coins, and I said, Gary, we're getting metal coins. I'm going to buy them for you, because how do you play a game like this with cardboard coins? That's all I want to know. So we got the coins. And essentially, this game is a hand management game where you start with 9 cards. I think you pull 3 each round, and you play one of those 3 cards, and you get to do a couple things. So if I played this lady right here, I would get 1 point for every 2 discs I have on the main board, and then I get to choose an action based on the level of the employee. So there's apprentices and journeymen and masters, I believe, and they each let you do different kind of actions like collecting resources or making dresses or gaining the favor of some lady. And then also, of course, hiring new employees, which builds up your deck. Not really a deck builder, but kind of has that kind of vibe. Well, it kind of is a deck builder in a way, because you're actually also able to discard or fire employees from your hand, which is good because then you draw those more powerful employees more often. But it's just so incredible. It also has a area control mechanism. Each room in the grand hall or whatever awards points based on whoever has the most discs, dresses basically, in there. But you can also get influence in a room by sponsoring the musicians, and then of course fireworks, like I said, double some of the dresses in the main hall. And oh man, I could go on and on and on. This is a great game. I love playing with other people. I really love the solo mode, which was just so brilliant. My friend Gary was kind enough to let me borrow it for a while, and I did all these solo plays. There's a solo play on my channel somewhere, I'm pretty sure. So anyway, I love Rococo Deluxe. I am really wanting to play it actually again now that I look at all these pictures. My gosh, what a beautiful game. It's beautiful. I love it. I love games like this. It's pretty, it's fun. Great game. My number 2 new to me game of 2022 is actually a game that's not even out yet. It's Unconscious Mind from Fantasia Games. Now, really quick, you should probably know that I was one of 2 community managers for this Kickstarter pledge, so that was a paid opportunity, and I am affiliated with Fantasia Games in a small way. So just so you know, if you want to take everything I say here with a grain of salt, absolutely go for it. But also know that if you know me as a gamer, this is absolutely my kind of game. Let's take a look. Unconscious Mind, weight 3.68. It's a heavyweight Euro. Absolutely my jam. Beautiful box and beautiful artwork on the inside. So who are we and what are we doing? We are psychotherapists in Freud's inner circle in Vienna in the 1800s, and essentially what we're doing is taking on clients into our practice. You can see a client right here and right here, and we're trying to heal them through their grief and trauma. Okay, you'll see that sometimes they have this grief layer on them that we're going to help them remove, and also we're going to talk them through some of the dreams that they have, both manifest dreams that they are conscious of, and then also these deeper latent dreams. So artwork on the dreams by Andrew Bosley, who did a phenomenal job with these cards. But what else do we do? There's like 1,000 things that you do in this game. First, each player has their own action board, and throughout the course of the game, they're going to be getting new, we call them techniques, from this kind of drafting board, right here, and putting them on their board. And then you can activate rows and columns, and as you unlock these, you can upgrade and activate those columns over here, and moving your ink pot around, and that gives you affiliation with Freud up here and moves your reputation up. And also traveling around Vienna and stopping at the library and the museum and the art gallery or whatever, and gaining insights and new techniques and new bonuses, and kind of conversing with Freud, which gives you extra bonuses. And then you've got this insight dial that helps you with passion and growth and freedom, and you're going to use those discs to treat your clients. It probably sounds absolutely insane the way I'm describing it, but oh my gosh, there's more. There's treatises you're going to be writing, basically publishing your works and findings. That's these guys right here, and your other players can actually cite your works, which feels, you know, kind of crappy, but that's also fairly thematic. So they'll cite your works and you get points for it. And then you're racing toward completing these 7 objectives. As you do, you get more points. And it is just, oh my gosh, it's extraordinary. You're getting coffee, you're getting newspaper, articles along the way. I could go on and on, but that's Unconscious Mind. You should definitely check it out. If you missed the Kickstarter campaign, go check it out anyway. It is just so lovely. I did a preview video on my channel you can check out as well, but that is this gorgeous game coming out next year. And finally, my number 1 new to me game of 2022 was Endless Winter, again from Fantasia Games. It is absolutely one of my all-time favorite games. It's extraordinary. It feels like a game that was made just for me. Let's take a look. I had been waiting a year and a half for this game to show up, and finally finally, after many delays and pushbacks, it finally showed up, and I love it. There was a time when I was playing it every single day without fail, and I loved it. So look at this gorgeous artwork, of course, from the Miko. There's your player board. You're getting food, you're getting tools, you're going to be putting out megaliths on the board. Let me just talk you through all the things that happen in this game. You've got deck building as you get these cards. You've got an area control thing going on here on the main map where you're putting down tents, converting 3 tents into a village on the intersection of those hexes. You are moving up this idle track. You're getting better cards, culture cards that give you one-time abilities as you play them, and then they'll cycle back through. I shouldn't say one time. There's worker placement. You're putting out your workers into these places and then activating those columns that let you get culture cards or new tribes people or go hunting. There's set collection as you kill mammoths and sloths and all kinds of megafauna. Is that the right word? I'm not sure. And there's sacred stones that you're going to be scoring. There's this wonderful 3D megalith building board. I wonder if I can find a picture of that somewhere. Where you're stacking your megaliths on top of other people's. There it was right here. So this is a really cool board as you get bonuses as you put megaliths on the tiles, and then you score when you place your tile on the second tier. It's just extraordinary. I'm sure there's other stuff I didn't even cover. And there's like all these expansions and modules you can add. There's a cave painting thing, which is almost like a flip and rate, where you get these drawing, filling in circles abilities that let you fill in your cave painting board. And there's the Ancestors expansion. There's the Rivers and Rafts expansion. Oh my heavens, I could go on, and I did go on and on. I have 2 videos already about Endless Winter that I made way back when the Kickstarter was live, so you can check those out. But anyway, it's just extraordinary. Again, going back to why it's so good for me, I love deck building games, I love worker placement games, I really enjoy set collection. I'm not a huge area control fan, but it's treated so differently in this game. It's not combat, it's not troops on a board, it's just kind of establishing influence in certain places and getting those bonuses. I love the theme of this game. Of course, I love Paleo-American, kind of, you know, early human civilization, Stone Age stuff. I love those kind of games, and the art is one of my favorite artists, of course. So it's amazing. Endless Winter is just so fantastic, and I am so glad that I finally have it. It's sitting right over there, and I think, right? Yes. And I'm dying to get it played again sometime soon. And there you have it, my top 10 new to me games of 2022. I'm sorry if this video felt kind of more chaotic and rambly than usual. You know, when you play 162 different games in one year, some of those rules and thematic nuances get a little blurred, as you can probably imagine. So thank you for bearing with me. I think one resolution I might have going into 2023, among many others, is maybe to try to replay more games, you know, try to get these games played more than once so I can kind of dive into it, get to know them a little bit better. That's something I'm finding that I do want to be doing more often lately. You know, playing a game and learning it and playing it once is fine, but you know, the repeat plays, that's where you start to get to the meat, the substance of the game. So I think I'll try to do that more next year. And that's it for today. By the way, I did add 29 new games to my board game collection last year. If you want to watch me review all 29 of those games, you can watch that right here. If you want to check out my Splendor Duel review I talked about, you can watch that right there. In the comments down below, let me know what some of your favorite games you played last year were. And in the meantime, have a wonderful week. Take care and happy gaming. Bye.